Okay, so we have our magic haha drinking bird. You want to turn them around in the circle so everybody can see? Good. Okay, and these birds work not on magic, but on the law of thermodynamics. Hold on, the science of thermodynamics, okay? So, what is the first law of thermodynamics? The first law of thermodynamics states that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, okay? It just gets transferred from one place to another. Yes. Yeah, the heat energy in the caffeine is going to get transferred to Mason. Okay. All right. So, we haven't done anything fancy with them. So, go ahead and give them a little tip and see what happens. And we'll watch them kind of go back and forth. That's it. Just the one time. Just the one time. And we'll see. And they're wobbling, right? Manning's is going pretty fast still. Marissa, what's happening to yours?
Slowing down.
Slowing down.
Well,
so these are known as, these were designed to be perpetual motion devices. Say perpetual.
Perpetual
motion devices. There is no such thing as a perpetual motion device, because that would mean that it is able to perpetually, forever and ever, move without anything powering it. So even if you were able to flick it and it kept moving, your finger is sort of the engine to get it started. But if it was able to keep going and going and going forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, it would be a perpetual motion device.
But what if you just what if you put your finger on your...
Well, then you're stopping it, right? And what does that make us think of? Newton's
second law.
Why Newton's second law? What is Newton's second law?
No, Newton's third law, right?
Georgia?
I don't know. What do you think?
An object that in motion tends to stay at motion until another force or another variable is caused it to change courses.
Okay, that's Newton's first law. Okay, so you're close. And what is Newton's first law?
For every... No,
Newton's first law states. Newton's first law states. You guys remember? Newton's first law states that an object at rest tends to remain at... Okay, do it with me. Newton's first law states that an object at rest tends to remain at rest. And an object... Mason?
Excuse me.
And an object in motion tends to continue moving in a straight line at a constant speed unless an outside force acts upon it. So let's do that again. Sans the belch in the background.
Mommy, I think my
Real
favorite
life here.
thing about this is that it's really difficult because I can't believe that it fooled Albert Einstein.
I know, he couldn't figure it out, could he?
And Herbert Hoover.
Yep. Okay, so here we go. What is Newton's first law of motion? With me, Marissa. Newton's first law of motion states that an object at rest tends to remain at rest, and an object in motion tends to continue moving in a straight line at a constant speed unless an outside force acts upon it. Okay? So, they are at rest. And they're going to continue sitting at rest unless an outside force acts upon it. So flick it. Whoop, easier. Grab the base and give them a little tip. Okay, so they're moving. They're going to continue moving at a constant speed unless an outside force acts upon it. What's the outside force acting upon it? No, now listen. Don't touch it anymore. You've already tipped it. We're not there yet. They're going to continue moving at a constant speed unless an outside force acts upon it. The outside force is the pressure in the air and gravity and all of that. And that's going to cause them to stop moving and go back to resting. Right?
I know.
What?
Mine's still going.
John Mayer says that gravity is working against him and wants to bring him down.
Okay.
So.
He's all sciencey, isn't he? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get the egg yolk out of the way. So go ahead and take your cup. And I want you to, Mason, I want you to turn the birds to the sides so that their beaks are pointed. There you go. That way. And then that way. Good. And then put the cup in front of the bird. Marissa, you put the cup in front of your bird. And what you want it to do is you want to hold his head in the water for about 30 seconds. So hers needs to be closer.
I can't really do that.
You just want to soak him. And what's going to happen is the water is going to move from the beak to the back of his head. Keep him in there and let him get good and wet. It's like a felt sort of velvety almost.
How many seconds do we have left? 20?
It's supposed to be fully in there.
So once, yes, well, I mean the beak. So Marissa, I want you to put your finger on his hat.
You feel that getting moist?
Is it getting moist in the back? Okay. So now all you're going to do when you stop holding his head in is just release your finger. And then move your hands back.
His head?
Go ahead and move your hand. Okay? So let's see what happens. So you're going to put his head back in, Mason, and then just release your finger so that he pops back up. That might be too tall of a glass.
If you look at that, I saw a drop.
Yeah, that's too big.
I saw a drop.
That's too big. It's your red blue bug. What?
Here, see if this cup works better.
Look for me.
Marissa, you're not supposed to touch him anymore. Now put his head down in the water and then just let go. There you go. Okay, so now nobody's supposed to be touching them at all. I'm going to move the camera up closer to them so we can see what's happening. So, oh, I see something happening in the tube. Oops, in Marissa's bird. What is happening?
It's going up.
The liquid is traveling up the tube.
Why isn't mine doing that? Because I put mine in the water.
So we don't want his belly to hit. Okay. Oh, sorry. So sorry. Oh, what happened? It's going up. It's traveling. What's he going to do? Let's see. Now we can't see because of the flocking, the little velvet stuff, but I bet you that that's still rising. Don't touch the table. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Oh, he's dipping. He's dipping.
He's doing it. He's doing it. Why is it still not doing it?
Oh, now, what did we observe in the tube? What happened?
It's traveling up.
A slog of gas went up in the tube and it emptied out. So let's get a look at Manning's.
Mine's going up.
Now, just let him go.
Mine isn't going up though.
You just have to be patient and don't touch it. Oh, and what? Is he still going over there?
Yeah.
Still tipping.
Mine is going up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I just gotta wait.
So we noticed that when we didn't have any water on the bird's head, that you started to tip them, but then what happened after a couple minutes? What happened?
Starting to go down. Yeah. Like Rissa's is now.
No, now listen to the question I'm asking. When there was nothing on the head of the bird, no water, when the cups were still over here, and you tipped the bird with your finger, what happened after a couple minutes? Did the bird continue to move or did he stop?
He stopped.
He stopped because there was nothing working to continue the motion. This little bird is a heat engine. Did you know that?
No, I mean, yes.
It is. It is a
Yes.
heat engine. There is a heat transfer process going on in this bird.
Mine's gonna do it.
The law of thermodynamics is happening in this bird. Don't touch anything. Just let him keep going. There's pressure building and going down. And there is liquid traveling. There is heat and release and heat capture going on. So before we reveal how it works, the science behind it, that's where our hypothesis
It's going.
comes
Mine's going.
to see. What's the matter, Rissa?
Mine's doing it. I'm just doing this.
You're just doing that?
Mine is doing
Oh, he's so slow. Oh, he didn't go all the way down. Now,
I think it's because of how tiny. I think it's because all of the water.
oh
There's
no,
not
just,
that
yeah,
much
let's just
water.
leave it there and see if he goes back down again. Oh, Marissa's is about to take another drink. Oh, up. And there he goes.
That's my.
So I'm going to let you get a good close up
You need a big.
of what's happening in the tube before we turn off the video on both of the birds. Yeah, it's full of liquid, completely full, the tube is.
Can we get
And
some
watch,
more
there's going to
water
be a
in mine?
slog of gas traveling up the tube and transfer of liquid, and then it starts to rise again. All right, so let's look at Manning's. So for some reason, his is moving a lot slower. So let's look at the differences. Let's look at the difference in the height of the water. So the first cup was really tall compared to, well, not really tall. Oh, sorry. Was taller. Okay.
You're so cute.
It's not tons taller, but it was tall enough to make a difference. And then this cup is working really well. And this cup was slower. Is it the bird or is it just the cups? So let's switch the birds. Marissa, give him your bird. And we're not making any changes. We're just changing the birds. So Marissa, you're going to go ahead and dip his head in and then just let go. Manning, same thing. Just dip his head in the water and then let go. Wait, we didn't switch. Oh, we switched birds, not cups. That's right. All right. So now whose is going faster or slower? So Manning's bird with Marissa is going faster, and Marissa's bird with Manning is going slower.
It's because of the cup.
It is because of the cup. So the cup makes a difference. The height of the cup, the height of the water does make a difference. I wonder what...
Switch our birds now?
Yes, you can switch your birds back.
Can we switch cups?
And you can switch cups.
My poor little
Okay,
birdie.
so listen. What we want to do is we want to see what other variables, things that we can change. Guys, look at me. Eyes on me. Things that we can change to get different outcomes. We can change the temperature of the water. We can change the height of the cup. We can do some other things to change stuff before we answer why these birds are moving the way that they are and what in the world the water on his head has to do with anything. Okay? So say bye. We'll see you in a minute.
Bye. We'll see you in a minute.